I just want to show y'all something real quick before we get into what we got to get into, cause you came for the title. But real quick, just look at this. Just look at this. My nigga. My nigga. Come on. Hold on. My nigga. My nigga. Come on now. Come on now. You know what this is? Look, don't laugh at the size of it. I know it's a big shoe. I got big feet. Don't laugh at that. But look, if you know me on a personal level, then you know like I hoop. I used to hoop for real on a serious level. Then I stopped all that. I haven't had like an actual good pair of hooping shoes since high school, since I graduated high school and stopped playing for the team. But look at this. Come on now. J. Cole, Real Drip. He's hard. I already wore them, so if they look dirty a little bit, I already wore them. I'm trying to break them in. Really, I've been thinking like I don't want to wear them because I don't want to get these dirty. They white. I like white shoes. I keep my white shoes clean, but like hooping shoes, I don't want to get these dirty. I love Pumas. I'm rocking Puma right now. You know what I'm saying? I got Puma socks on. I have my wardrobe Puma, have Nike. Man, look, I don't want to get these dirty, but like the side of me that like the hoop, like the other side of me is like, nah, you gotta wear these in. You know what I'm saying? These are hooping shoes for a reason. If J. Cole did it, you definitely gotta do it. I mean, come on now. Look at the vinyl in the background. Look at the vinyl back there. Come on now. You paper look. That's besides the point. I'll talk about them all day. The title of the video. Let's get into that. Ever since I got into camera work, photography, and been doing stuff with my camera and getting myself out there, as far as people knowing me locally, people knowing me from just different places, wherever they might know me from. People ask me for advice, like, how do you get into photography? Like, what do you have to do to be a photographer? Like, what you gotta do to be a good photographer, or why did you get into photography, blah, blah, blah. And the most question that I get asked, and I don't get asked this often, like by all means, I'm not some nigga that's just like everywhere I go, people just asking me, nah, just like, you know, whenever. But the most question that people ask me when they do ask me, what do you need to be a photographer? And it's really simple. You don't really, I'm finna explain that to you right now because it's so, I'm finna break it down and explain to you what you need to be a photographer. The 3 things you need to be a photographer is number 1, you need a camera. You need a camera. It don't matter what kind of camera you have. It don't matter what kind of phone you got. It don't matter if you got an Android. It don't matter if you got an iPhone. It don't matter if you got, you know, an old-fashioned Polaroid. It don't matter if you got a flip phone, man. Like, I'm being dead serious. If you practice with whatever camera you got, you can master that shit. And whatever piece of work you make, it can look good in its own way. It ain't gotta be clear. It can be blurry. You know what I'm saying? Blurriness is fire in its own way. A photo that has a lot of grain in it can look good in its own way. A photo that's got a lot of vignette in it can look good in its own way. You don't need a high quality camera. You don't need a $3,000 camera. You don't need a $2,000. You don't need a $700 camera. Your phone, anything that's old, anything that's new, it's all up to you. Number 2 is like right up there as far as being just as important. I mean, the camera is necessary, but besides that, this is the most important thing that you need in order to be a photographer. Number 2, you need creativity. You need creativity. You can't create nothing without creativity. I mean, as a photographer, you're an artist. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're not painting anything or whatever, you're an artist. Everything in this world is an art. Whether you're playing sports, baseball, basketball, whether you're being a doctor, being a nurse, everything is an art, you know what I'm saying? It's in its own way, in its own form. If your thing is taking pictures at sports events, if your thing is taking pictures of food, nature, go get into that creativity zone and go shoot that stuff. Like, that's really it. If you just want to take pictures of a tree, do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't need nothing. You don't need anything but yourself and a camera to call yourself a photographer. Now, if you want to get into the whole thing of how do I be a full-time, how do I be a part-time photographer, how do I make income from being a photographer, how do I become a professional, amateur, intermediate level photographer, we're not talking about how to live off of this and that, how to live off being a photographer, how to live off making money, taking pictures. We're not talking about none of that. Because a lot of times in today's world, with just about anything, anytime somebody asks you what do you do for a living, you're gonna respond with what you do that makes you money. You know what I'm saying? You might work at a warehouse, you might work at a retail store, you might work in an office somewhere, but your main goal might be something totally different that you want to be the main source of income that you receive. But you're probably gonna tell them, oh, I do this and that. But on the side, I'm doing this and that so I can be there. So like, I don't want to get into that whole thing. I don't want to get in. We're not here to get into that whole thing of like of like what do you need to make money to be a photographer. First off, if you want to be a photographer, first you gotta call yourself a photographer, and you gotta be it. You gotta be it before you start making money from it, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a dentist, doctor, sports player, if you want to be anything, you gotta call yourself that. You gotta be it before you it. You don't need money to validate your position, your career, your choices any more than your thoughts already are, any more than your actions already are. Your actions are what's gonna speak the loudest. So yeah, that's like the most important thing. You need that creativity to do that, and you don't need money to call yourself a photographer. You don't need money to call yourself anything that you want to be. The last thing is probably really all these. I can't put one or the other over each other to say like which one's more important than the other. They all really important. But the last thing, you need to love and appreciate what you do, what you create as a photographer. Whatever you're taking pictures of, whether that be real estate, products, whether you're doing sports events, whether you're doing still shots, whether you're doing photography for magazines, it don't matter. When you're doing commercial, it don't matter, bro. You just need to enjoy and like what you do. If you don't like what you do, you're not gonna want to promote it. You're not gonna want to keep it. You're gonna want to get rid of it. You're not gonna want to share it with people. And then when you do share it with people, they might like it, but they're gonna see how much you don't like it, so they're gonna be like, damn, well, I don't know if I should like it then, because the person that took it don't even like it. I mean, that's how they might think. That's not always the case, but that's how they might think. But if you don't like it, first and foremost, who else is gonna like it? If you don't enjoy what you do, who else is gonna enjoy watching you do what you do, or having you be around them, or having them pay you to do it? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta like what you do. You gotta like what you're taking pictures of. You gotta appreciate that. When you genuinely love what you do and naturally, genuinely and wholeheartedly into that, you grow with it. You grow with it. So even if your first photo is the ugliest photo in mankind, or the ugliest photo in history, if you genuinely into photography or whatever it is that you're doing, you're gonna grow with it, because you're gonna be like eager to get better with it. You're gonna be trying to progress with it. You're gonna grow with it. If your first photo was ugly to you, which most of the times it will be, because there's always room to grow. And like I said, when you love something, you naturally grow and evolve in it and get better with it over time. So sometimes I tell myself, even if I don't like it, I still take the photo, because I try to look at it from a different perspective. The cool thing about being a photographer is sometimes you gotta tell yourself to pause and look at things differently than you normally would, or than you're expected to, or than, you know what I'm saying, like just get out of your comfort zone and look at things from a different area, from a different perspective, from a different mindset. Because I've taken some photos where I thought they were completely ugly, and then people was like, oh, this photo is crazy, this photo is hard. And then I had to look back at it again and be like, yeah, that photo can be hard. Oh, this photo's too blurry, this photo's too grainy. I be telling myself that, but then I go back and look at it and be like, well, the grainy adds on to this and that, the blurriness adds on to this and that. So it's all about how you look at it, and what way can a photo be depreciated and more appreciated, you know what I'm saying? So them the main three things. I told you, it's really nothing. It's really just that simple as it is. And if you don't believe me, if you feel like you need some money involved, then this ain't for you. If anything, you feel like you need money involved to validate for you being whatever it is that you're trying to be, it probably ain't for you, bro. You don't need a camera, and you need yourself. That's really it. I mean, that's simple as that. Love what you do. You'll grow with it when you love it genuinely. You know what I'm saying? You're really into what you're doing. Be creative. You know what I'm saying? Tap into your own space. Learn yourself. Figure out what you like, how you like it. Get into it. Everybody not gonna like what you do, but eventually, the people that do like what you do gonna come around. They gonna rock with it. They gonna follow you with what you're doing. And just get a camera. It don't matter what kind of camera it is. It really don't matter. iPhone 6, 5S, 5C, iPhone 13 Max Pro, iPhone 11, iPhone 14, 15. It don't matter, bro. Just get you a camera, man, and take pictures of what you like to take pictures of. Don't let nobody else tell you don't take pictures of this, because that's not what we normally do as photographers. That's not how we take pictures. Do what you want to do, bro. You know what I'm saying? Rules are made to be broken. Hell, I don't even really believe in rules in general. I like hearing rules because they give me an idea of how to break it, really. You tell me to do this, how can I not do that then? That's how I look at the rules sometimes, and that's how you like, that's what they're there for sometimes. So like, do what you want to do how you want to do it, tap into that space, and go with it, run with it, and don't be scared. It's that simple, man. Get you a camera. That's all you need to be a photographer. You know what I'm saying? You don't need nobody else to tell you you're a photographer. You don't need me. You don't need a professional. I don't need a professional to tell me I'm a photographer. I know I'm a photographer. I don't need nobody to tell me I'm a photographer or whatever it is or that. I'm gonna be whatever I wanna be, and I'm gonna be it when I say I'm gonna be it. It's just that simple. It's straight like that, man. It's just straight up like that. You don't need the money. You don't need the money to tell you, to make you feel more validated that you are what you already been the whole time. The whole time. That's it. I'm finna get up out of here. Yeah, I'm about to get up out of here. I took too long to shoot this video, but I finally shot it. Just want to give y'all some insight. I just want to let y'all know, like, it's that simple. Cause some people ask me, like, what do I need? What do I gotta do? Who do I gotta talk to? What kind of camera do I gotta get? Nothing. If I would have thought like this years ago, I would have been doing all this stuff I wanted to be doing way back then. But I waited, and that, like, a lot of times when you think like that, you end up waiting, and you end up waiting for the perfect moment. Oh, when I get this camera, I'm gonna be a photographer then. Oh, when I get this gear, when I get in this position, when I move to this place, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that then. Nah, man, do it now. Start waiting. Do it now. You don't need a place, a person, a thing. You don't need material. You don't need money to tell you, to make you feel more validated, to make it feel more true, to make it seem more real, to be or to do what you already can be doing or being now. Like, just go ahead and get that joint. Go ahead and get that joint riding and rolling. It's just that simple. But yeah, I'm gonna holler at y'all next one, man. Y'all be safe out here.